Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ariel Madeline and today I'm going to show you how I made this Ren Fair themed corset and top combo. For supplies, you'll need 2 yards of corset fabric and 2 yards of chiffon. You'll need eyelet grommets, 2 rolls of bias binding, 3 rolls of embroidery thread, 2 rolls of different lace trim, one for the boning channels and one for the edges, 1 roll of ribbon to tie up our corset, 1 roll of elastic thread, and 1 yard of interfacing. I am jumping right into tracing out my corset pieces. I used a pattern I created with my own measurements prior. Before I cut my pattern out, I freehand a design on the front to embroider. It is important to leave the pattern pieces uncut. Having the fabric completely intact will allow you to attach an embroidery wheel to your fabric. Once I was happy with the design, I started to embroider it with a needle and thread. I am back for day 2 of working on my Ren Fair costume. Tonight's plan is to see how much embroidering I can get done. Once I embroider the pattern pieces, I can cut them out and then sew them together. So I want to get that done as soon as possible. It is now currently 5:30, so I'm just gonna embroider until I go to bed. Last night, I got a couple of little floral designs done for the front, but yeah, I have a lot more to go. So got my thread, got my scissors, and I'm gonna get to work. It is now the next day. I will show you the progress I made last night. I finished up one side of the corset. So now this side has some embroidery added to it. And I began working on the second one today. I'm not too concerned about them being perfectly symmetrical. I want it to just have like a cute woodsy look to it. And once I'm done with the embroidery on both sides, I can cut out the pattern pieces and then I can start constructing the garment. I'm not sure if I want to add more to this side. There are a couple of spots that I feel are just like a little bit empty, but I wanted to finish both so that I can hold them side by side to see if it needs just a little bit more. Now that my embroidery is completely done, I can cut out my pattern pieces. In total, I cut out 2 layers of the front corset pattern and 2 layers of the back corset pattern. 1 layer with the embroidery on the front and the other one for stability as an underlining. For extra structure, I am using sew-in interfacing. Full transparency, I thought I was purchasing an iron-on interfacing, but clearly I was not paying attention when I bought this. An iron-on facing is so much easier, but I'm going to use what I have. I also only purchased a yard of this, so I had to play pattern Tetris to make it all fit. The struggle was real, but in the end, I was able to fit all the pieces using only 1 yard of interfacing. Next, I pinned the interfacing to the fabric to be sewn. Again, it's so much easier to use an iron-on interfacing, so if you can, always go with the iron-on option. I would have saved myself so much extra work. Now it's time to sew the pattern pieces together by layer.
I started with sewing all of the interfacing pieces together and then the underlining layers together. Once the layers were sewn, I could attach them with right sides together.
I'm excited to move on to the fun part of decorating the corset. So what I'm going to be doing is adding boning channels to the front and back. So I have this darker green colored binding that will act as a little channel to put the boning in. I actually don't use regular corset boning. I use zip ties. It's cheaper, they work totally fine, and it's not as uncomfortable as some boning is. But to decorate it, I am going to add some lace over the top just to give it a little bit more detail. But I'm really excited. It's already looking so cute.
I will add these channel details to the back seams to create a decorative space for my grommet eyelets.
So I tried on the top and I really like the way everything fits. So now I'm just gonna cut off the extra fabric of everything. Not too short because I'm gonna add the binding to the outer edge. But everything's fitting really nice. So I'm excited to see it once it's all done. I'm just gonna sit here and cut off all this extra.
Here I am pinning bias tape to the raw edges and sewing them down. Then I added a layer of lace trim on top to complete the look.
It is now the last day of making this costume. I'm gonna go ahead and add on the eyelets to the back of the corset. I finished it late last night and it was just too late to be hammering grommets onto a corset, so I saved that for this morning. It is a beautiful rainy day out, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up.
I started by evenly spacing out my grommets. I fit 8 grommets on each side.
The reason why I'm putting them close to this edge is that this is going to act as a cover, so that way I don't have any of my back exposed when the corset is laced up. So there is a difference. There's one piece that is that goes over, so I gotta make sure I separate out my eyelets to have the two pieces, because one goes on the top and then the other goes on the bottom. So I gotta make sure that I have enough for 16 on each side.
Next, I marked the spaces with pen and began cutting out small holes so the grommets could fit around snugly. Now that all the grommets are placed on the garment, I will use my eyelet tool to hammer the grommets shut. And there you have it, a fully functioning corset. Now we are moving on to how I made my undershirt. This was seriously so easy to make, I spent all about 15 minutes on it. First, I used a loose-fitting top as a reference for cutting out my pattern. I made sure that the neckline was extra wide so I could hide it under my corset, or, as another option, wear it off the shoulder. Next, you will pin the side seams together with right sides together. Using my serger, I connected the side seams and finished the raw edges of the neckline and sleeves. Then I turned the hem in on itself with wrong sides together to create a hem. Using elastic thread, I sewed a straight stitch with the elastic in the bobbin to create a gathering at the neckline and sleeve cuffs. Now you have the perfect pirate shirt. Let's see the final look. What I love about creating new pieces is that I can mix and match them to create many different costumes.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos that I create. And make sure to hit the bell notification so you're notified when I post new costume designs or knitting vlogs or alterations. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!
You try prancing in a dress. Ow, there's a stick stuck in my